And here we go on a Friday. Shit. I think it's like February 15th, 16th, who knows? I mean, shit, it was just the end of January. Now we're already at the end of February. Woo! And we're at T-minus 11, and it will be at T-minus 10 at the end of today. And that's the big countdown to 10. Now, will anything actually happen? Yeah, I want to be here for what? At the very worst case scenario, it will be months before I come back. At the very best case scenario, I may not come back at all, but I want to be off work for a while before I need to detox from the job a little bit. Yeah, so we had another pedestrian accident with a bus driver. And I know the driver, he's a great guy. It's terrible. It can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody. Don't ever think that you can't have an accident, because you can. It was just luck that I didn't have one the other day with a bicycle. And my friend RV had a bicycle accident. He had nothing to do with the accident, but the bicycle actually hit him, but he didn't hit the bicycle. So that's not his fault if some idiot on a bicycle runs into him. As you can see, the traffic is heavy on Friday, and it's raining, which is a double barrel whammy for Portlanders who cannot drive in the rain for some unknown reason, because you'd think they could, given that it's always raining, but no, Portlanders cannot drive in the rain. So, yeah, so there was a left turn. It was a 45 route. Now, I know that 45 route, that is not a good route. Every time I've done that route, there's been not enough recovery time. It's like a ball buster. Now, I looked at his paddle, and he actually did have some limited recovery time. He didn't have the deal like I have. You know, I got like nothing, but he had actually like 16 minutes at one end. They make you go all the way from the Tiger Transit Center, all the way back to, you gotta go all the way to Jefferson and what is it, 18th, 19th, you know, that turnaround over there. You gotta go all the way around. I can't see around these cars. So you go from Tiger all the way down to that Jefferson Street turnaround there, and then you go back, no recovery time, 0, which I think is bad policy. And then you get maybe 12 or so minutes when you get back. So it's a 2-hour round trip about. It's not adequate. Now, you know, I believe that he was fighting the schedule. We don't know. I mean, when I was talking about the Sandy Day incident, one of my friends said they did evaluate her workday recall. I don't remember seeing that part in there. But I seem to forget, you know, you gotta remember I have so much information rolling around in my head that I can't keep it straight anymore, you know. I've just lost track of all of it. I've just got too much information. There is a point where you have too much information, and I have had that point right about now. So every time I read something, I don't ever really recall it perfectly, or I get it wrong when I'm trying to think about it again later. Anyway, so he's making a left turn from Walnut to Pacific Highway, and somebody's running across the street, and he doesn't see them, and bam. I don't believe there's any cameras on that bus, so it's all witness reports, which is very bad. Eyewitnesses are the worst kind of evidence you can have, really. It's proven fact that eyewitness reports are always reliable, and every witness will have seen something a little bit different from the last witness. So good luck with that. And it's really pretty inexcusable to not have a dash cam on every bus. I mean, I have a dash cam. Okay, right here. What's the big deal? Doesn't cost that much. I know you can get them for cheap. I had one that was a cheap one. Got stolen, I guess, but more money down the drain for me. But the fact that TriMet doesn't have them, at least pointing out of the traffic. I mean, you don't have to have the whole 9 yards, inside, outside, sideways, backwards, you know. Just your basic dash cam, just so you can see what's going on in front, because that's a lot of things happen that way. That's where you're going to get most of your accidents, is view from the front. And they don't have, it's dangerous. These conditions are dangerous. As you can see, I guess Highway 26 is backed up eastbound, which is to be expected because it's raining. So you can see why Portland is so incompetent in the snow. Look at what happens in the rain. I mean, and it rains all the time in Portland, so it's really hard to believe that Portlanders can even function at all in the snow, given that they can't function in the rain. Although what they say in national statistics is Portland has some of the best drivers. Some of the most courteous. Actually, they're not that bad here, really. I mean, as far as courtesy is concerned, our four-way stop, things like that, Portland drivers are pretty good. I come from Massachusetts, where it's really bad drivers. Everybody's in a rush, and there's no consideration. Anyway, the gentleman that got in the accident, you know, we feel for him. Nobody likes going through this. And it's horrible to go through it, actually. Not only is it, nobody wants to go through it, but it's horrible to go through it. She didn't cross at a crosswalk. She was wearing dark clothes. She did everything wrong. Just based on the general description of this accident, it's not his fault. But, you know, it's a bus driver, so he's going to be looked at very closely. And he was making a turn. I wish we knew whether he was calling a stop. I'm waiting for a disastrous accident to happen while somebody's calling a stop. Then we'll have them by the nuts, man. Because you know it's going to happen. Because that's I don't move my head and neck. I just call a stop for my... But some people actually move their whole head and neck over to that stupid microphone to make the call. And that's very dangerous. Because you are taking your eyes off the road. You're distracted by the microphone. And it's a very hazardous situation. TriMet, the company, has decided that their neglect of their transit system should have no responsibility in such things, and the operator should bear all the fault, which is public policy here. That's a standard operating procedure. It's like the idea of rock and roll. Somehow we taught him how to rock and roll. Therefore, anything that happens is covered by their rock and roll policy, even if it's got defective equipment and you can't see around things, you can't see out your mirrors. Well, that's the other thing I want to say about this accident. He was in an old bus, and anybody that's driven these 1800s knows the visibility hazard on those buses. The water accumulates on the mirrors and on the windows and creates a really bad visionary problem. So I'm wondering where she was when this accident happened. That she started. Yeah, it's hard to know what to think about this until we know the details of exactly where she was when the accident occurred. It would seem, which way was she going? And she must not have been in his field of frontal vision, I would imagine. So she was probably trying to cross in front of him as he was coming around versus she was trying to, you know what I'm trying to say, he wasn't that victim probably wasn't in his line of vision when the accident occurred. That would be my bet. And somehow she didn't realize the bus couldn't stop or something, so the bus kind of like banged into her as it was going left. Anyway, the details are forthcoming. Poor guy. You know, RV, my pal, had that incident with the bike. It shakes you up, you know. After something like that happens, you just don't want to work anymore, you know. It shakes you up horribly. So our sympathies go out to the victim and the driver as we wait for the full report as to what actually happened here. Okay, leading me to the next point. And I've been having technical difficulties with my dispatch system, which has created I'm listening to it more now, and I kind of like that better than recording. Because if I record the dispatch days, I actually don't ever hear it because I don't have enough time to go through them. I do like to go through the Friday ones. And it's kind of fun to be posting this on Twitter. There's something about Twitter that's fun. I don't know. I never really used Twitter and the Facebook, and I don't really like the Facebook at all. But everybody's on the Facebook. You know, it's like YouTube. If you want people to see your video, you kind of have to be on YouTube. You don't have much choice, even though I hate YouTube too, because it's capricious in the way that it handles its policies and how they TOS you. I really hate YouTube, and I don't like Facebook, because Facebook is in the business of selling you information, which is why I don't put any information on Facebook. There is nothing there. All I post to that is news stories. I do comment on the private operator site over there, but I don't comment that much. I mean, it's doing quite well without my input. So I'm not very active over there. I do put important, relevant posts up there. Something like Fred Hanson's salary for